Hey everyone, Kyle, the Backyard Problem Solver here, coming to you with another project, this time from inside the house. And today I'm going to show you how we replaced this laundry sink that we didn't really use very much and use the small area to put in a storage locker for the kids' coats and backpacks and shoes and all the stuff they need, and how we were able to make use of this small space. So there were a few things to keep in mind when considering the design of this project. First, that wall on the left has a pocket door in it, so we did not have studs that we could use to attach this project to. Second is we did not want to get into the time or expense of moving the plumbing for the washing machine and capping off the plumbing for the laundry sink. We wanted the option to be able to go back to a laundry sink at some point, whether for us or if we decided to sell the home at some point for the new owners. So we needed something that would hide that plumbing but be able to be moved so we could access it for the washing machine. So a large freestanding unit was also not an option. So I decided to build this in a few separate pieces. I started by building a bench and then also a bookshelf that would be hung on the wall attached to the header above the pocket door. When building the bookshelf, I did get a few of the taller books that I had just to make sure that I was making them the right height. For the front of the bench and the bookshelf, I cut a groove in the frame so that I could, once I put it together, I could slide some beadboard down into those grooves and then put the frame all together. So there it is, once I got it cut before I attached it all together, just to make sure everything looked good. And again, you can see the front of the bench and the door for that bookshelf. Then I took everything, glued it all together and clamped it. It was cold outside, so I brought it down into the basement so it could cure. Then I went to work on the piece that would hide the plumbing and provide some additional storage. As you can see, it's a little bit shallower on the left side to allow for the plumbing. And on the right side, it goes back a little bit with some room underneath that bottom shelf for the washing machine hoses to go over to the washer. Here is my nephew, who helped me quite a bit with this project, drilling some of the pocket holes for the screws to put everything together. And here are my son and daughter watching us work. They enjoyed seeing it all come together. Then I added the beadboard to the back of the unit that would cover the plumbing. On the left, I put that frame in there just so it would match everything else that I've done. Then I got a seat for the bench and cut that down to size. Then I added a board to the top of this unit just to keep things from falling off the back of it. And then also, as some additional storage, I thought we could hang some keys from it. And here you can see I began working on the panel that would hang down from the bookshelf. Once again, I laid everything out and did a dry run to make sure everything fit properly. You always want to do that with any project before you start screwing it together. But especially with this beadboard, if that were the least bit crooked, you would see those lines. You would see that it's crooked with those lines. So you definitely want to lay it all out and make sure it is exactly right before you start attaching anything. There was a register where I was going to put the bench, so I put that up on legs so it would allow airflow underneath. Then once everything was painted, it was time to install. I brought the bench inside just to ensure that I hung this at exactly the right height, and then I had built this contraption out of some scrap wood and some bolts and nuts. And basically I had the bolts on that first level of boards with a nut over that and then a second level of boards. That allowed me to adjust the nut in each corner to ensure that that cabinet was perfectly level while still holding the cabinet in place. So that way I could install this myself. I didn't need any help to hold it and try to get it level while screwing it into the wall. To attach this to the wall, I used a few different methods. I used large lag screws in those top shelves to attach it to the header above the pocket door. Then through the bottom shelves and through the upper part of that panel that's attached to the back side of the shelf, I used heavy-duty drywall anchors that were each rated for 300 pounds. Then, where those hooks are to hang the coats and backpacks, I used separate drywall anchors behind those hooks, so it would secure everything and tighten it to the wall, but those could be covered by those hooks. Now that it was installed, it was time to attach the bench seat and the cabinet door. And this is where I realized that I made a big mistake. I had thought it would be a lot easier to hang the cabinet before putting the door on. I was correct that it would be easier to hang it without the door on it, but what I should have done is attach the door and then take it off and then hang the cabinet and reattach the door. Without everything being pre-drilled, hanging that door up there was very challenging, and it did end up being slightly crooked. The final product still looked great, but I wish I had done that beforehand, and I have learned my lesson now. And here is the final product. I got that mail slot and painted it to match the coat hooks, and I put those magnets on that board on the back of that shelf to hang key rings from. And I think overall this project turned out really well. We've gotten several years of great use out of this, and it's amazing what you can do with a very small area that was previously only taken up by a sink. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you have a problem that you've been struggling to find a solution for, I'd love it if you'd leave it in the comments below. I'm always looking for new ideas for videos, and I'd love to possibly take a look at the problem you're having and see if I can come up with a solution for it. Thank you all, and if you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. Thank you.